It all starts with a dream and a vision, but it's the execution that turns it into a reality. Right now, I'm here at the Sreenidi Deccan Arena, and I'm here with a very special guest, Mr. Fabio Ferreira. Fabio, how are you?
Oh, good morning, Pranay. I'm doing well. Thanks for coming and visiting us in Hyderabad.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you with us.
And it's been a pleasure just by when I was coming here, it was just like watching all of this thing. It just really turns me into even like, how do I say? Having these facilities in India is like it's not a very normal thing, I would say. But tell us more about it. Like, how did this vision for you started?
Yeah, so as you said, everything starts with a vision. And our chairman, Dr. Ketima, was very clear with what he wanted to do and how much he wanted to contribute for the future of Indian football. And I would say that was a starting point. So obviously, the big vision is to develop players and athletes that can play for the national team, that can represent India at the world stage. That's our main target. And at the same time, we want to develop players that can make the domestic leagues, ISL, I League 2, more competitive and improve the quality of the ecosystem overall.
Yeah. So just tell us when the first time you came here, how was it like? Was this everything there already, or like what was it like
Yeah,
coming here for the first time?
actually, it was the opposite. So when I came for the first time, this was in the March 2017. We came for a round of meetings and introductions to understand what was the project and what was the vision. And I can say that everything that you see here, it was just land, like that land on that side.
Okay.
So this was obviously looking at the vision of the chairman and what he wanted to achieve. We had to define a plan and how to do it and what are the requirements to achieve that. Obviously, football is always a long-term
Yeah.
journey. Is not something that you do overnight. And keeping that in mind, we start drafting the plan, what was required.
Yeah.
And from that point, obviously, facilities was one priority. Also, because as you mentioned in the introduction, there is a lack of facilities in India.
Yeah.
So that was one of our priorities, and we start the project from that point. Obviously, what you see here now, it was changed from the initial stage. Initially, it was two football pitches, one covered residential, but there is the need of more football pitches if you want to have a youth elite academy with 4 or 5 full-time teams, plus a reserve team, plus a senior team, plus grassroots program. So there is a lot of operations going on within the club. And for that, we need, I would say, 4 or 5 football grounds minimum to run it smoothly.
Okay. So this will multiply into 5.
Yeah, so now we have 3. We have 4th will come there soon. And we have a 5th one in the Sreenidi International School, which is just 2 minutes away from here.
Okay. So Fabio, having this kind of infra, like I've never, or I can say a very few clubs in India have it. So Sreenidi being one of them, can you tell us some of the difficulties you faced?
Yeah, so we were very clear from the beginning what we wanted to do and how long it will take. So I think one important thing or approach that we did that helped us to overcome probably many challenges was our phase-wise approach.
Yeah.
And having a clear calendar and a clear picture of what we want and when we want to do it. Then obviously, see, land is always a big challenge, and we are fortunate enough to have enough land to develop the facilities. Another important thing for us is the Sreenidi Group is as a huge structure,
Yeah.
as you might be aware, and we were able to do almost everything that you see here in house with our team of engineers, with our estate department, with our own team. So that helps us to have control on the process.
Yeah.
So basically, we decide what is needed. We have meetings with architects. The plans come into picture, and then our engineer team executes, or our project team executes. And this is always supervised, I would say, by me from the football perspective.
Personally, like you supervise everything.
Yeah, I'm present. I'm very much present. I can give you an example, like this VIP box that you see here, they were pushing it, I would say 3 or 4 meters up front.
Okay.
But then spectators cannot see if they are sitting there because we block their view of the corner. So from these small details to our changing rooms in terms of operations, when you see our first team changing room. We have connection to the massage room.
Yeah.
Now cryotherapy chamber will also come there, to the gym and to the medical room. So everything is connected for our smooth operations.
Okay.
So all that detail and all that plan was done obviously together with the chairman, with our architects.
Yeah.
And one that is very clear, our project team executes whatever we have envisioned.
You mentioned about the chairman. So having this kind of a project requires a lot of backing. So can you just I just want to ask, how is it when you first met the chairman? Like what were some of the assurance given to you? Like you're free to work on everything, and how does it work like for you?
Yeah, I think, see, it is very important to be transparent. And if you come to a project like Sreenidi, like I did almost 7 years ago, you need to come with a purpose.
Yeah.
And if you come in, if you decide to come, you also need to believe in things that you are not seeing. And obviously you need to be driven by some purpose, not just coming for the money or just, obviously we have many people working in football that they love football, they're passionate about football, but not everyone is driven by a purpose. One of them might have different interests, might be personal, professional.
Yeah.
So for us from the beginning, it was having that transparency with each other and knowing that, okay, we are here to do something bigger than just Fabio, than just the chairman. So it's something for Indian football.
Yeah.
So that was one important starting point. And then obviously with the years and the relationship being developed, that trust was built, and I'm fortunate enough to being able to work, and we have a very good relationship.
Okay. Now coming to the main part, which was playing into the I League. So when the first time the project was discussed and you had to build a team around, what were some of the challenges you faced while coming to I League? When this project was there, okay, we are doing this, we're going to play to I League. So what were the challenges you faced and how did you prepare for that?
Yeah, so coming into Ali, it happened because there was an opportunity in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, we decided to take it because at that point in time, we were ready for it. Be it our facilities or our structure, our staff. So we knew that, okay, after 3 years of me being here, now the fourth year we will be ready. And then we worked on it. We took the opportunity that was the direct entry. And then it was also in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
That we came into the league. So keeping that in mind, obviously this gallery where we are, or the stadium, it was not supposed to be. It was supposed to be in one land next to this one.
Okay.
But then, okay, now we got into the league and we need to have things ready, because if we will, we need to go and do it well. That was our main motto. So we went. Then obviously the challenge comes with the recruitment of players, one of them. So I can tell you that I started recruiting players for our I League around 14 months in advance.
Okay.
Because we got, I think, the announcement somewhere in August. And that season we did not play Sudava game, and it was agreed that we will go on the other season. And then I start recruiting players in November or December, recruiting meaning scouting of that year. And then the I League, because of COVID, will start somewhere in December or Jan.
Yeah.
And then we came into the next season and we start again November, December. So it was around 12, 14 months that I started looking at players.
Yeah.
Obviously, that gave me time to put a list together. And then that was the starting point. But yeah, that was one of the. The other one was in terms of operations stuff. So you need good people around you if you want to be successful.
Yeah.
And we were able to put a good team in place, ensuring that we will be ready for licensing, for example.
Yeah.
From operations. And then it comes the infrastructure. So our players, they stay 2 minutes away from here.
Yeah.
We have, I'll say, a 3-4 star residential for our first team players. So it's very easy to manage when you live 2 minutes away from the campus where you practice every day.
So Fabio, you talked about players living 2 minutes away. How did that idea came into, having all the ecosystem around? The ground is nearby, the residential academy is nearby, the players live 2 minutes around. This was already planned, or like this was like, how did this came to your minds?
Yeah, no, see, we know what is needed to for the club to function at the top level, and that is always our goal, right? We in Sreenidi we are driven by excellence. So if you do it right.
Yes.
And then we did an analysis, of the ecosystem and what some of the clubs were facing in Guinea, what was the main challenges. And at the same time, we know, I would say, let's say, we also need to take some role models, right? Let's look at some European clubs.
Yeah.
How do they work? How do they operate? And then it's an analysis of what could be the challenges we have here and what good is being done somewhere else, and how can you merge it and to ensure a smooth operations for you. So that was how we assess it. And then obviously another one was your running costs.
Yeah.
Because if you if they stay outside, if they need the transport or if the food, operationally it becomes more challenging. So now having everyone here, it allows us to control their meals, their sleep, their reporting times, the transport. So it allows us a little bigger control over these things, which are important for the performance of the piece.
So in a way, I can say, since you're from Portugal and you've seen the European football culture, that is what you wanted to bring here.
Part of it, yes. And I mean, you see, as you said, once you walk into the facility, you start seeing something different. So that's the impact that we want to have.
Okay. When you were planning for Project Sreenidi, was it very hard for you to also convince a lot of foreign players to come and play for your club?
No.
No?
See, we also need to be realistic with the targets who are our players. Obviously, right? We cannot aim at getting players that are playing, I'll say, Premier League in France or Spain, or because that's not our target.
Yeah.
This year we were able to get Angel from second division in France.
A transfer that we have not seen so far, getting someone like a young
So
South American.
that was a very positive. And then from the first day when we started recruiting the players, I can tell you I had a very nice presentation ready for all the players.
Yeah.
With everything from the place where they were going to stay, the training facilities, the travel within India, the vision for the club, what we wanted to achieve and where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
And that also passes some trust and confidence to the players, and then they decide to embrace the project. And then in the second phase or later phase, it's the results that we are getting as a team and what we have been doing. And not only on the pitch, because that matters, but also off the pitch, and the stability that we can provide to our players and the conditions that we provide to our players, that makes the project very attractive.
Yeah. Where do you see the vision of Sreenidi right from where we are? Like in next 5 years, what do you see the vision?
Yeah, see, as I told you, I came 7 years ago to when we started, I'd say, professionally developing the club. And for 1 year, it was more about developing policies, infrastructure. And then after a few months, it starts with one youth team. Nowadays, we have 3 elite youth teams, plus one reserve team, and all of these are 100 full scholarships. So we have decided, okay, we want to start this having played in the national team. And after, I think within after 4 years, we started playing players in the national team.
Yeah.
And now Levis has been with them for the past 3 years. So I would say that step by step, but we are getting into where we want. And now, and I think because now we start collecting the fruits of the work in the past 7 years, even though we had COVID in between, but we were able to manage things. You see, Deepak came from reserve team, is now playing regularly in I-League. We have Mbop, who has also played this year. We have Adil, the goalkeeper, who has been gotten also a professional contract. And we have a couple of other few players who are also in professional contracts, and we believe in 2-3 years they'll be playing for us, if not for us, for other teams in I-League, because that's also one of our goals, and our vision is to develop players, because Sreenidi in I-League at this moment, you need to be really good within the I-League context to play for Sreenidi.
Yeah.
And, when the generation comes from the 19s on the 23s, we cannot have the 20 players playing in the first team.
True.
So our vision and our goal is also the players that finish the development within the academy, if they don't have space in our first team, if they go to another I-League clubs, I-League second division or ISL teams, means our youth development system is working well.
True. So Fabio, you told about the vision of the club, but can you also tell us about the vision of entire Sreenidi Deccan, like the infra, the players, everything?
So see, I think with regards to the players, as I told you, what is our main purpose and what is our vision.
Yeah.
As a club and as a group, we are investing heavily in sports. So with regards to infrastructure, I can tell you now that we are going to develop a new residential just right here for 300 people. A new sports science department, a new gym, and that will be to accommodate football and golf, because we have a sports school and we want also to promote different.
So not just football,
not
all
just
sport.
football, exactly. And as a group, the overall vision of the sports school is to produce Olympians or athletes that can represent India at the world stage. But that, as I told you, we are in the early stages of that, and everything is being developed now. As a club, in terms of infra, 1 or 2 more pitches are going to come here, as I mentioned to you before. The new sports science lab is going to come up as
New
well.
pitch might be also coming because you have to play. Maybe when you go to top tier, you can't play in the tough.
So there is a plan to upgrade this stadium. What you see here, that plan is already done.
Yeah.
But again, it's not yet been putting in motion, because once we go up, we need them to decide strategically if we want to play here and the investment is worth, or if we want to play, for example, in Gachibowli, which is a different location and opens different possibilities for us with regards to connecting to our funds. Sporting wise, obviously our goal is to go into ISL in the short medium term. We believe that as a club we are ready now to be playing in the top tier, and I'll say in a span of 6 to 8 years, once we consolidate our position in ISL, then we need to be aiming possible at Asian stage.
You feel you're ready for ISL?
Yeah, we are ready for ISL.
Okay, and you've been very close.
We have been very close, but that's sport, like when you win, not everything is right, and when you lose, not everything is wrong. Obviously, we need to assess internally and understand what were the challenges and why are we not making it.
It's just about time.
Yeah, I mean, it's time, it's details. 2 years ago, we finished, I think, 10 or 11 points behind Punjab. There were so many circumstances for that to happen. Last year, we finished 4 points behind Yandan. Again, so many circumstances for that to happen. But you need to be driven by perseverance and persistence. And we believe in the process and what we are doing, and we know that we will reach there. Sooner or later, we will be there, because we are doing things in the right way, although not always in this ecosystem doing things the right way equals to being successful every time. But I think we are in a good path.
You talked about residential academy, right? I get a lot of DMs from young kids, like 15-year-olds or 18-year-olds texting me like, we want to become, we want to play professional football all over India. So do you have a solution for that?
Yeah, we have multiple solutions for that, actually. So our youth system, it is divided in different departments. We have one which is open to everyone.
Okay.
And that is our football school, in which we provide academics and sports. So whoever joins the football school, we provide them everything which is the life of a professional athlete.
Okay.
From, it could be the nutrition plans, the psychology sessions,
Okay.
strength and conditioning, the well-being. And at the same time, we ensure that their academic career
Is also
equal, parallel, side by side, so that by the year they graduate, they are ready either to go through professional sports or to go to a professional academic career. In that program also, we customize the program according to the sport. For example, they come at 8 o'clock for breakfast, and then from 8:30, 8:45 to 11:30, they are into sports or into these nutrition, psychology, or tactical sessions. 12:30, they go into academics to 4:30, and then 5 p.m. again, they get into sports. So the load or the schedule, it's not like a regular school.
Okay.
It's designed to get them more hours into sports than into academics, but at the same time, they will graduate from their academics and they can pursue different universities in India and across the world.
Okay.
So this is open to everyone. And then we have our elite programs, which is the full scholarship program, which is also connected with this football school program. For example, if we have players that are with us in the football school, which is open to everyone, but they are doing really, really well, they will get the scholarship within the football school as well.
And this is from what age group? Like,
So this goes from grade 3
okay.
up to grade 12, and then it comes our underage under 23s.
And what is can you explain like what does a day of a routine look like for someone who's like, it's a 13-year-old kid wants to start, wants to play for, let's say, one day for Sreenidi. Like, what will be his routine be like?
Yeah, so in the football school, 8 o'clock, between 8:30 is the breakfast.
Yeah.
And then they have a few break, 10, 15 minutes. And then they start in the morning, they start with the strength and conditioning session or psychology session.
Okay.
If they are injured, then they go with the physio for recovery. If it's after a match, they go for a video analysis session.
Okay.
And this goes between 45 minutes to 1 hour. Then they have a small break, and then they go into a technical session, which is individual development. Because when you talk about youth development, we are developing players, we are not developing teams. Yeah, at the youth level. So that period in the morning is dedicated to optimize and to develop the characteristics of each individual, which obviously, if you look then at the 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, it gets more specific towards their position. If you look at the 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds, a little bit more general and technical. And then, as I said, after the break, they go again for 1 hour session on these qualities. For example, if it is a striker, might be more on shooting. If it's a winger, dribble on one-on-one, crosses. A center back could be all clearance or one-on-one defending. So this specific work we do with them. And then around 11:30 they finish. They have their break, they freshen up, they have lunch. 12:30 they start with academics up to 4:30. And then 5 p.m. they have a team session with our elite teams, which is whatever qualities we develop individually in the morning period. Then we need to put that in a team context, in a tactical context, and that happen in the evening session.
Okay.
And then 5 to 6:30 they have the session. After that, freshen up, rest, dinner,
And then sleep.
and then sleep.
They're also playing competitive football apart from that as well, right?
Like this, under 17 league now they are playing.
Yeah.
Different national tournaments they play, local tournaments, local leagues they play. And then also, we work 11 months a year. So
No off season.
no, off season is there 1 month for 6 weeks, which is the regular one. We don't believe in coming 6 months and resting 6 months. Because again, what is our target is to compete with the best in the world, right? And if you look at the best in the world, in 1 year, they are working at least 10
to 11 months, yeah. Correct.
So let's say from 8 to 18-year-old, it's 10 years of youth development process. If they work 10 months, it's 80 months.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Now, if you work, let's say, 5 months or 6 months, after 10 years, your whole development period, it goes to 40 months, 48 months, 50 months, which is almost half to what they are doing in different contexts.
True.
So how can we match that? So that's why years from the day one.
Okay.
Obviously, that increase in running costs, but we are ready for that, no problem, because our main target is to develop top players.
So starting from under 13, let's say if there's a 13-year-old kid, he'll start with, starting with being into the batch of 13-year-old kids around him. Then he plays under 15, then under 17, under 19, reserve team, and then like maybe he can then play to Sreenidi.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if he's extremely good, we can he can step over some stages of development.
Okay.
Because sometimes, if you have an under 15 team who is extremely good, we need a more talent contact.
Maybe like
to develop. And then he goes to under 17. Or for example, now with our reserve team, under 23 who is playing in the Reliance League. We have 5-6 players who are under 17s.
Yeah.
And they are not playing here in under 17 league, but they are playing there. Why? Because here, probably here they will win more times. But the context for the development will not be as good as the Reliance League, which is more challenge for them and more competitive, different context. That's what we want at the youth level.
Talking about the vision, there is a partnership that was signed between Sreenidi Deccan and SL Benfica from Portugal, where you're from. So how did that came to your mind and how did that happen?
Yeah, so see, the partner. So first we identified what will be the top 5 youth development setups in the world. And at this moment, SL Benfica, it's across the top 5.
Yeah. Talent factory, as we can say.
Exactly. That's one of their main purposes as well, because they can monetize the talent that comes from the academy. And as you know, huge transfer fees are happening in Europe, and they can do it across different clubs in Europe.
Yeah.
So once that was done, then obviously what could we have access or what could be easy for us? And Benfica was obviously one attractive club with regards to youth development and their methodologies and how they work. And I was also familiar with that because I've been working with some people from that. So our target was not as much as having a huge club in Europe that commercially can be more attractive.
Yeah.
Our main target is what is the club that can help us to develop our players to achieve our vision. And that's exactly what we did. Once that was that, the partnership was closed. It was pretty easy to get into agreement with them. We got a full-time head of youth development from them here with us to ensure that he controls and monitors the process of the youth development.
So he's here.
He's here.
Okay.
Full-time, like again, 11 months.
Because a lot of partnerships does happen, but they're, via video calling or something. Or
No.
That sort of, yeah.
We need to develop the talent here. So that is one of the pillars of the partnership. The other one, obviously, is to try to establish a bridge between India and Europe, or Portugal in this case. And what we are targeting of doing probably soon is have some of our top players being able to go and get some exposure with the top teams in Benfica. For example, okay, let's get Levy's the Indian national team player.
Yeah.
So we are working with Benfica to try to have Levy's going
and train
with them. Obviously, we know that the level there is different.
Yeah.
And when he goes there, it's not, okay, he's going there because he's going to sign a contract for the league. If he does extremely well, we'll be very happy, of course.
Of course.
But it's also for us to benchmark. We can say, okay, this is the best that we have in India.
Set the standards, right?
And is with the best of Europe. And where do we stand and what we need to do to reduce the gap.
Yeah.
So that's, again, another target. And obviously another one is also, being able to provide opportunity to all Indian footballers that want to go to Lisbon and practice within a highly professional setup, that also they can come through us and go 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to Lisbon, use the Benfica campus, use all the facilities, experience what is the daily life of a Champions League player.
So Fabio, you talked about football schools. So what makes Sreenidi's football school unique when you compare it to other football schools?
One thing that makes the football school unique is our customized learning program. So whoever joins the football school, as I had mentioned to you before, we can ensure that they don't miss on anything through their academic or sporting career. So whoever comes, there is a academic program that is designed, so for example, let's say a 7th grade class. They all start at the same point when the academic year starts. But then if I'm into sports, I may not be able to attend some classes, or I might not be able to, meet some deadlines, whatever it might be. So the principals and the teachers, they need to ensure that I finish at the same level as the others, even though I'm into sports.
Yeah.
And they customize the program according to my needs. Another thing that makes it unique is the fact that within Sreenidi, you have a complete pathway from grassroots to professional level. And it's a pathway that we are ready to invest, and opportunity will be given to the talent or to the players that have the potential, as we are giving to a couple of you, which we have mentioned in before. So I think from that perspective, you don't have any football school in India that, have for example, our football school athletes are having lunch and they are meeting our first team players at the same time. Or our training sessions are taking place first team professional, and that our football school or our elite youth academy players are also watching to the training. Or so there is a very close relation between the different teams, different departments of the club, and your development happens within a professional context, and you are exposed to that. You can see the routines, you can see what they do, you can see what they eat.
Yeah.
So I think that is very unique, and not many clubs in the world can provide or give access to that kind of, I would say, they open to the professional level.
Okay. Can you tell us about the methodologies and the philosophy of the school?
Yeah, so with regards to our philosophy, it's pretty simple, right? The foundation is youth development.
Okay.
So whatever we do, it is related to developing the players. So obviously, as a club, um, when we talk about the philosophies, what we believe that can help us to develop those youth players, and how we put those strategies in place.
Yeah.
So the focus is on individual development, as I told you. We need to understand this starts from the recruitment moment, when we have the player scout or when we have a new admission coming in. So we need to understand first where does the player or the athlete stands. Understand what are the weaknesses, what are the strengths, and then obviously optimize the strengths and focus on reducing their weaknesses. For that, we go, if it's a younger player, let's say a grassroots under 11 or below, we look at more general technical and tactical principles of the game. Then
One, there's a screening you do, right?
yeah, and once they start, getting to elder age groups, then we start getting into more position specific.
Yeah.
So obviously from the physical attributes to the technical side to tactical, everything then becomes position specific related. And we go to the details, if it's a goalkeeper, from the height or the flexibility, if it's a center back, if it's a striker, a midfielder. So what are the attributes that they need and what we need to do to develop them?
Yeah.
And then, see, everything needs to be related to the ball, because football is played with the ball. Tactical is technical and technical is tactical. This might sound confused, but any simple action like a passing, or when you receive a ball, when you are in a football match, you need to pass to someone, which might be opening some space in some moment of the game and surrounded by your teammates and your opponents. So all of that needs to be related.
You talked about the philosophy of the youth school. Can you tell us about the philosophy as Sreenidi as whole? Like, is it something like a lot of clubs, what they do is they just buy players and they buy the top talent. And there are some clubs who just want to, produce talents. So where does Sreenidi stand?
No, at this point, we definitely stand on the producing talent, but we also need to understand that we are a pretty young football club and a football academy. So our talent, we'll start now collecting some of the talent that started working with us 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
So until we'll be able to have, a complete team, or that can be, let's say, from Sreenidi, that will take a few more years, because develop talent takes time. But that is our vision. We are not on the side of the clubs that will buy the players. We'll more a feeder club or other clubs, and rather, a club that can go to the market and pick any player and pay any kind of transfer fee.
So Fabio, I want to ask you a really important question. Is Sreenidi Deccan the Hyderabad club?
We are the Hyderabad club.
Okay.
We are the Telangana club. See, obviously the clubs connect with the areas where they are inserted at different levels. I would say that looking at the work that we have been doing at the youth level to connect with the young talent and the consistency that we have been showing over the past 6-7 years, I'll say that yes, we are the Hyderabad club.
So Fabio, is Sreenidi here to stay?
Yes, definitely. See, when you look at the work that we have been doing in the past few years and the investment that we have done in building our foundations.
Yeah.
So we are not going anywhere and we are here to stay and help Indian football to go and to move forward because, see, football and sport, you win, you lose. Some seasons you are more successful than others. But if you have a strong foundations like the ones we have here, as you can see, this sends a message of trust to to the whole football lovers or who likes football and who is interested in seeing Indian football to progress. So we are definitely here to stay and to contribute for the years to come, and we have new investments planned. And I'm sure that will help Sreenidi Deccan players, but all the ecosystem in Hyderabad, Telangana. And as you see, we are hosting now on the 17th Youth League. We have recently hosted Santos Trophy, and the investments that we are doing will allow us to keep hosting more sporting events and to cooperate at the national level with different entities.
So given the conversation, I feel Hyderabad and Sreenidi's future looks pretty bright. Thank you, Fabio, for your time.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you very much.